Hey there, I'm Kathy, here to help you maximize your dimensional insight investment. Today, we're going to learn how to dive into data. Diving is one of the key functions of our analytics platform that allows you to get deep into the data, uncovering the specifics that can empower you to do your job better. Here to explain how to dive is Alyssa Mintz from our education department. Alyssa?
In this demonstration, you'll learn how to perform a dive on your data. But first, let's introduce you to ProDiver. ProDiver is an ad hoc data analysis and reporting tool. It allows you to retrieve and work with information in a special type of database called a columnar database, or cBase. The process of retrieving information from a cBase is called diving. In this demonstration, we'll use ProDiver to perform dives in a cBase that contains information on the sales of produce. When you first open a cBase file, you'll see an area called the console on the left of the screen. Near the top of the console is the name of your file. Below the file name is a set of folders that help you keep your data organized. These folders are called categories. In each category is an additional set of headings called dimension names. Dimension names are roughly comparable to the column names you might see in a spreadsheet. They identify the information stored in the cBase. For example, you can see that the cBase contains shipping information, as well as information on customers, salespeople, suppliers, and commodities. The number in parentheses after each dimension name tells you how many unique pieces of information in the cBase fall under that heading. So, for example, we can see that there are 47 unique values in the dimension commodity, 97 unique values in the dimension customer, 31 unique values in the dimension salesperson, and so on. We call these dimensional counts dim counts for short. You can use dimension values to filter your data, as you'll see in a minute. But first, let's think about what we want to learn from our data. Our end goal for this demonstration is to find the names of the customers who bought blueberries from a salesperson named Donnie Gillespie in August of 2018. So we'll begin by double-clicking the salesperson dimension name to display the names of each of the 31 salespeople. This will be our first dive into our data. In a new window called the Dive window, ProDiver displays a list of salespeople along with the quantity of products sold by each person and the total sales generated by each person. The status bar at the bottom of the screen tells us that there are 31 rows in all, and that we're only seeing 13 at the moment. We can resize our dive window and scroll around in it just as you can in any window. At the top is the totals row, which shows the aggregated totals for all the salespeople in the list. We want information on Donnie Gillespie, so we'll click his name in the dive window. Notice that arrows reappear next to all the dimension names in the console. This means we can get further information on any of these items as they relate to Donnie. So we're ready for our second dive. But first, let's double-click Donnie's name for a peek at some additional data. Notice that dim counts have now reappeared next to the dimension names. These dim counts now reflect totals for Donnie Gillespie only. When we first opened this cBase, the dim count for commodity, for example, was 47, because there are a total of 47 commodities listed in the cBase. But Donnie has sold only 30 of the 47 types of commodities. So when we double-click his name, we see that fact reflected in the dim count. Again, in the dive window, we can see totals for every type of produce Donnie sold, but we're interested in his blueberry sales only, so we need to get a breakdown of the types of produce he sold. To get this breakdown, we'll do our next dive on the commodity dimension by double-clicking commodity in the console. A new dive window opens up on top of the previous one. You can see the title of the previous window just peeking out from behind the new window. In this new window, we see the produce that Donnie has sold broken out by type, with information on the quantity sold for each and the sales totals for each. And again, at the top of the dive window is a totals row, this time showing the aggregated quantity and sales totals for all the types of produce Donnie sold. We can now see that Donnie has sold 5,652 units of blueberries for total sales of $172,390 over the time frame of the data in the cBase. But we want to know how many units he sold in a particular month and to which customers. To get this information, we'll start by double-clicking blueberries in the dive window. ProDiver again updates the dim counts in the console to reflect the narrowing of our inquiry, this time from all the commodities Donnie sold to his sale of blueberries only. We want to know about sales in the month of August 2018, so we'll do our next dive on the dimension ship month. A third dive window opens on the screen, showing us the quantity of blueberries Donnie sold for each of 20 months, as well as the sales total for blueberries in each of those months. The totals row at the top of the window shows the aggregate totals for these values. We're only interested in the blueberry sales Donnie made in August of 2018, however, so we'll double-click 2018-08 next. The resulting dim counts show us that 4 customers bought blueberries from Donnie in August of 2018. To see the names of those customers, we need to do one more dive, this time on the customer dimension. We now have the answer to our original question. What are the names of the customers who purchased blueberries from salesperson Donnie Gillespie in August of 2018? Before we end this video, let's take a quick look at the history heading in the console. You can see that ProDiver has kept a record of each dive we made, so we can revisit the dives and even change them if we like. For example, let's say we want to find the names of the customers who bought cantaloupes from Donnie Gillespie instead of blueberries in that same month of that same year. First, we'll double-click the commodity entry in the history list. ProDiver brings to the front the dive window in which we selected the data value blueberries. In that window, we'll double-click cantaloupes. ProDiver immediately updates all the windows that follow to show us a new result, the list of customers that bought cantaloupes from Donnie Gillespie in August of 2018. This type of dive is called a cascade dive because your changes ripple through or cascade through the remaining dives. One other thing to note, the order in which you complete the dives does not affect the end result. We chose to dive on salesperson, commodity, and ship month in that order before choosing to dive on the customer dimension. But if we had changed the order to ship month, commodity, and then salesperson, the final dive on the customer dimension would have shown the same result. So that's how you dive for information in ProDiver. First, you choose the type of information you want to dive for, a dimension, by double-clicking a dimension name. In the resulting dive window, you choose the particular value you want more information on. For each subsequent dive, you repeat these 2 steps until you have the final answer to your business question.
Thanks, Alyssa. Please give us a like and hit subscribe to get notified about our new information-packed videos. Also, we'd love to know what you found most useful. Let us know in the comments below. See you next time.